What is going on, guys? We're keep on rolling here and getting caught up here, hopefully for a good night. How y'all doing tonight? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here for my review of last Friday's episode of Smackdown, the January 13th, 2023 edition that took place in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Of course, again, as I said back in my previous Dynamite review, I am skipping SmackDown tonight. I'm DVRing it so that way I can catch up on it over the weekend. But again, I had to use tonight to get caught up because again, I was just so far behind on content. So tonight is my night to get caught up and to shave off this beard. But yes, we're going to go over what happened on SmackDown from last week, which I thought was a good show. I mean, there was the two best things about this show for sure was definitely the opening match, which of course, after the crazy week that happened last week with WWE. And of course, you know, Vince McMahon just already throwing his weight around. And the big, rumor about that they had sold to Saudi Arabia and that Stephanie McMahon retiring and whatnot. All that happened. And this was the first show right after all that craziness happened. Which again, I want to do that in a separate stream when I get the chance. And when I'm just in the right mindset and be able to just let my thoughts out and hear your thoughts as well. But until then, we're going to accept the fact that Triple H is still running creative. He is still in charge. He's having meetings telling everybody everything's fine. Although, again, I trust him. I don't trust your father-in-law. But for now, let's roll in and talk about SmackDown. And like I said, the opening match and the main event were the two best things about this show. Because we started off with an Intercontinental Championship match between Gunther and Braun Strowman. Now, of course, months ago, well, it was in the midst of that SmackDown World Cup tournament that Ricochet won and still gets recognized for winning, as he had some really good matches, especially that finals match against Santos Escobar. But there was a segment where they had teased that Gunther was afraid of Braun Strowman, and I was just not happy. But what I liked though is they didn't have it have like them crossing paths all the time. But of course, as we have slowly seen them cross paths at times, Gunther seemingly got a little more confident around Braun Strowman. And because of that, because they didn't turn him into a chicken shit heel, even though, here's the thing, I will say this. A good heel champion like Gunther, who's been dominating, it's okay to expose a weakness in him. Like he can dominate everybody, but then he gets that one big challenge. And of course he just shivers over it a little bit. So I can kind of say I can forgive WWE whenever I got annoyed with that segment months ago, as I thought they had a great match, the two of them, both Strowman and Gunther. Gunther, of course, did have to work on the arm, moving it into the uncomfortable positions that he did recently when the match was made official a couple weeks ago. But yeah, it was, and the thing too I also like too is Gunther did beat Strowman clean. It took him several maneuvers to put him down, but the clothesline, the power bomb, and even of course a splash. He had to work to put down Strowman. But again, he beat him clean, which I think is definitely great to definitely make him look stronger. Because I'm still wondering what they're going to do for WrestleMania. Because I still have heard rumors of doing him and Brock Lesnar, which I'm not opposed to. But I still want to think they have to do that third match with Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. So I still think, people said this, they should do match 3 between Gunther and Sheamus. And again, this can be where Sheamus wins the Intercontinental title. So I still think that's the direction they should go in. We, of course, though, will see what happens. Because, again, that match they had at Clash at the Castle. I mean, yes, the match they had on SmackDown was great, too. But that Clash at the Castle match, damn, was that awesome. So, again, Gunther wins by hitting the powerbomb. And then, of course, the splash. And, again, he retains the IC title over Braun Strowman. Clean! Which, again, I love to see. So, the big story of this episode, though, was Sami Zayn was being told he has to take care of Kevin Owens. So, that's going to be the main event match. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Sami, though, is backstage at the Bloodline's door. Wise man, Paul Heyman answer. Sami wants to talk some strategy with the guys, but Heyman says he's the only one here tonight. Sami's always confused, and Heyman says that they're not here because Roman is showing him love by telling him beat Kevin Owens tonight on his own. So Sami buys in and says, okay, I got this. I can do this. Do you believe, though, that he can do this for real, though? We'll get to, of course, the ending, and, of course, the direction they told us with the simple but effective storytelling. Then we have Rey Mysterio come out. Mentioned, of course, how he enjoys the holidays, but he did not have a good Christmas this year because of his son, Dominic, trying to ruin things yet again. And now Dom's walking around on Raw like a thug, like a hardened criminal, and that breaks his heart as a father. But as a man, though, he is fed up with it. So he wants a fresh start, and he's not going to let him provoke him. And he will get that fresh start by winning the Royal Rumble. Basically, he's announcing his entrance into the Rumble. Even though some people have to qualify, he can just announce himself in. Again, I still don't get that, but... Anyways, we then have the one who's been kind of like playing mind games with him lately. Karrion Kross and Scarlett come out. Kross says he was in the back listening. And Rey talks about goals. He needs them, or how else would he peel his broken ass out of bed every day? The years haven't been kind to him, but he digresses. We all remember the time when Rey won the Rumble in 2006. And sure, that was a special moment. But even more so, he's sure it was a special moment for Dom, wasn't it? His dad, a real-life superhero, and goes to win the big one. But Rey doesn't know that it was special for him, does he? Because he was too busy to be a good father, and then attacks Rey's parenting skills, which sets off Rey, and then Rey starts to attack, but then Scarlett interferes, and then Kross chokes out Rey with a cross jacket. I think on next week's episode of SmackDown, I believe it's next week's, we're going to be getting a match with Rey and Kross on SmackDown. Okay. Like I said, I've been waiting for that feud where, like, somebody, like, personally attacks, like, Rey about his issues with Dominic. I wish we would have gotten it sooner, but I do like that Kross is doing this. Although I don't think Rey Mysterio should be pinning Karrion Kross. Heck, again, nobody should be pinning Karrion Kross yet. So, we had that. Then we have Liv Morgan hanging out with Emma and I think it was Maxine Dupree. And then they're talking about the Rumble. And again, Liv wants to start at number 1. And of course, Maxine says she has no chance in the Rumble. Then Raquel Rodriguez rolls up and says they make good points. And she just thinks someone of Liv's size will have a better chance entering later. But mainly, she's excited for her first Rumble. And Liv says she's got her palm read and she's confident about her chances. And when she holds up her hand to explain, she bitch slaps Raquel right across the face. And then they agree to have a match. But before they have a match, Tegan Nox had a match against Xia Li, who I still forget half the times employed here. And she beat Xia Li with the shiniest wizard. Cool. So that happens there. We also get a vignette with the Viking Raiders where Valhalla speaks of talking to the gods and having a vision of two fallen warriors, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, which leads to a backstage segment with Pierce talking to the Banger Bros, as they're calling themselves, Sheamus and McIntyre, who want to fight the Viking Raiders tonight. Well, Drew wants to fight the Viking Raiders, but Sheamus also wants his hands on the Usos, and they argue over who they should fight first until Pierce advises them of a tournament to crown the number one contenders for the Smackdown tag titles. And it will start off with the two of them versus the Viking Raiders, which of course they agreed to. Then we have Bray Wyatt come out. And he came out, of course, to his new theme music. But in the ring was his rocking chair when he was the Eater of Worlds. And he says it's funny how we can forget who we are, how we were made, but all it takes is a little push in the right direction, and suddenly you know all you had to do all along is revel in what you are. He remembers all the things that he lost, and that he's the color red in a world black and white. But he is the Eater of Worlds. He claims to be Uncle Howdy. He's the nagging conscience of a world thrown to monsters. He is Bray Wyatt. But who are you? At the Royal Rumble, he'll experience a true rebirth, a baptism in the dark, and when the lights go out for LA Knight, he should run. So, okay, again, like I keep saying, both for Raw and SmackDown, this stuff with Bray Wyatt's been good. It's definitely dragging. I want another gear to the story. But of course, interested to see how he came out and was the deleter of worlds. Like, is that another like personality of his? Or at this point, we just have to wait until Rumble and see what happens in the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match and see what progression goes from there. That's where I'm at this point with Bray Wyatt stuff. We just have to wait and see. Kevin Owens has been interviewed backstage, and Sammy is right there and asks if he's happy about all of this, about what he's making him do tonight. He couldn't just leave him alone and stay on Raw. But Owens says, actually, the Bloodline came to Raw and ran their mouth. And he decided to take them down piece by piece, and if Sammy's one of those pieces, he'll do it. He didn't ask for the tag match with Cena or their match tonight. This has all been no one else but Roman. And Sammy's like, I'm not being used. How many times Reigns has... And then Owens says, how many times does Reigns have to hug him before Owens will see that they're family? Well, that's what Sammy said. But now he's got business to take care of, and he's going to do it all by himself. Before we had the next match, Gunther then announced that he was going to be in the Rumble, and he's going to main event WrestleMania, which, cool. Also, I got to mention this really quick. Gunther's real-life wife, Ginny, who was in NXT UK, did recently announce her retirement on Instagram. That she said something after like a long interview. So Ginny got moved to the alumni page shortly after they ended the UK brand. So I don't know if the plan was for her to go to NXT Europe whenever that happens, have her come over to NXT in America, which I think they should have, or call her up to the main roster. Honestly, I was kind of hoping they would call her up to the main roster and make her like the female member of Imperium. But apparently I had heard rumors that she was moved to the alumni page, but she was still under contract just dealing with an injury. But I guess she posted on Instagram after, a lengthy time away with injury, she's decided to call it quits. Bummer, of course, because again, I liked Jinny in NXT UK. I mean, she probably was, in my opinion, the best wrestler to come out of for the women that came out of the UK without holding a title on the UK brand. But I definitely think she was one person that was really clicking on the UK brand. So that's a bummer for sure. But I had to mention that real quickly here. But Liv Morgan had her match with Raquel Gonzalez. Match was what it was. Raquel won with the Tejada Bomb. And of course there was a moment in the match where Liv basically tossed Raquel over the top rope with a clothesline like you would do Royal Rumble. So basically saying, hey, I would have gotten you right there, basically. So, strange way to hype up the Women's Rumble match, but whatever. We also get a recap from Charlotte Flair defending her title against Sonya Deville last week. And then Sonya just whines and complains about wanting to get another shot, even though she lost fair and square. But since Pierce won't give her another shot, she's like, well, I'll make you. So she goes and she brawls with Charlotte Flair. Okay, like she won fair and square last week. Like this, I don't know. Again, like stuff like that just makes me less of a fan of Sonya Deville again. And I was digging her too, but now it's just like I don't like this booking. I did not like that booking. And then we have our main event: Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. First off, obviously the match was awesome, as it always is. But here, of course, was, the storytelling moment. Like, that's what this match is supposed to be. So, I'll be honest. Again, yes, Sami Zayn, has had a great story to him. But, like, wrestling-wise in matches, are you still able to believe that he's actually going to be able to win matches? Like, he's slowly getting, like, that feel you had when he was going after the NXT title. But it's not quite there yet. But, we all kind of saw the writing on the wall. Where, like, we didn't know if Sami Zayn could beat Kevin Owens by himself. But then there was a moment in the match towards the end where he has Owens perfectly set up in the corner for the haluva kick. But as he's setting him up for the haluva kick, the Usos and Solo Sikoa, who Sammy was told by Paul Heyman weren't there, come out of nowhere and attack Kevin Owens, forcing a disqualification. And Sammy's in the corners like, guys, what the heck? I had this. They continue to beat down Owens in the corner with the 1D. And then it was kind of like they tell Zayn that you did good. And we got this. And they all throw up the ones. But then they of course had set Owens up on the table. And Sammy actually showed like some resentment. Like, it was kind of like that moment where he was like, has Kevin been right all this time? Or are they just using me? Like, the reactions, the way this was done, it made me think of like, Kevin Owens, okay, this is a weird Harry Potter comparison, but Half-Blood Prince. The scene where, Malfoy is cornering Dumbledore in the astronomy tower, and he's supposed to kill him with the killing curse. But Malfoy can't pull the trigger. And of course, Snape basically had vowed to carry out the deed if Draco couldn't do it. Well, then of course, Dumbledore wanted Snape to be the one, because it was the only way for Voldemort to trust him. And basically, it was like, Sami Zayn in that moment was Draco Malfoy. Well, he wanted to, get the job done. But of course, obviously realizing, what Kevin Owens, has been saying may be right. Seeing the Usos and Solo Sikoa, let's call Solo Sikoa the Severus Snape of this segment. That did that big splash on Owens to take him out. It was kind of like, it was too hard for him to watch. And of course, they're all like, yeah, Sammy, you're fine, you did good. But he's like, I didn't get the job done. But they still put the ones up. So, again, very interesting turn of events here. And like I said, I am not watching SmackDown tonight. I'm not probably watch until the weekend. But I wonder what the fallout from this is going to be. Again, because some people have said they want to see Sami turn on the bloodline. Will Sami turn on the bloodline first? Or will it be the bloodline that make the first move on Sami? You know? We'll see, though. Again, this story has been excellent. We're about to get to, the cherry on top of this. As again, the rumors are that Elimination Chamber is in Montreal. And the rumors are that Sami Zayn will be wrestling Roman Reigns in Montreal. Which I think will be excellent, of course, for a babyface Sami Zayn. Here's what I pray, though. Again, I haven't had the chance to do the stream yet, but with everything going on with, Vince McMahon coming, slowly making his way back to his old chairs, to the rumors of WWE selling to Saudi Arabia, which if that happens, then Sami Zayn's gone because Sami Zayn's Syrian, and, that's like a religious issue with Saudi Arabia, from what I hear. This is what I hear, of course. I just hope if something does happen, we get back to where we were before last July. I'm hoping we can at least finish this story. Because this story, has just been awesome. And it would suck to see Vince McMahon interfere and have to make us pull the plug on this storyline. But again, Sami was about to get the job done. But then the Usos attacked him and said no, you're fine, you did great. But it's like, I didn't get to finish it. So now again, is Sami showing some doubt with the bloodline? You'll have to find out next time for the next episode of SmackDown. Once I watch it, then, of course. But guys, that does it for my SmackDown review. I'm gonna give the show a B. Like I said, the opening match with Gunther and Strowman for the IC title was awesome. And then the main event was awesome, match-wise and storytelling-wise. Everything else in the middle wasn't bad. It's a couple little strange little nitpicks I gave there, but it was still a good show. I gave it a B. A B for SmackDown from the January 13th, 2023 edition. What are your guys' thoughts on this episode of SmackDown? Be sure to your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. And follow me on Twitter at @thecluboftheman93. Be sure as always to shout for me, sub. And follow me on TikTok at @thecluboftheman1993. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. We're going to keep trucking along and get caught up here. I'll catch y'all soon. Have a great rest of your night. And peace out, everybody. No escape.